Can you believe it? It's almost 6 months since I was at the flea market. There's about six comic vendors there now at that one in particular, and a lot of bargain bins there. It's almost like a little haven, like an oasis, or dare I say, like a mecca, or uh, Xanadu, or Shangri-La, or that's about the extent of my knowledge. Okay, so on this channel we show hauls and stop once in a while to maybe deep dive issues, but I'll keep it pretty brief on these. We'll briefly showcase some interiors once in a while, art and writing. What is there, like six different vendors there now? And I was a little bit scared that it would be hard to find stuff there, maybe that they would all like buy the coolest shit from each other, but I was able to like do a thorough sweep. A lot of 50-cent bins, dollar bins, a handful of stuff that is costs a little more, but worth it, at least to me, and um, hypothetically on the market and all that stuff too, that you can justify it that way. Okay, let's go on. Okay, first off, Dan at Mad Guy Comics. I always check that booth out. Actually, I was there to meet Comic Crack, did a little bit of a trade swap, and bought some stuff off he bought some stuff off of me a little bit. But I'll show that in another video. Legend. So we'll talk more later though. But yeah, it's funny, we didn't like talk about where to meet up, but beelined it to Dan at Mad Cats. I've talked about that booth many times as pretty great bargain bins and stuff, as well as the $2 and $3 bins as well. Like, all of his stuff is, I used to only sorry, I'm babbling, but I used to only get stuff from like the bargain bins, but as you'll see, some stuff from like his more expensive bins is worth far more than he charges for it. Or I always like art and writing and everything, but anyways, moving on. Okay, Claremont and John Bolton, Black Dragon number 6, putting this together. Cat Claw, this is a dude, Eternity again. Do they import a lot of stuff from Europe, or was that what they were doing? A guy from Serbia, I think, is where this comic kind of took off from. Almost doing like a weird kind of exploitation kind of female Spider-Man type deal, but apt and like skilled with the art and the figure. That's I say it's almost like Spider-Man because of her origin story and his ability to do these like kind of what would you call it? They're almost like Ditko like poses, but yeah, there's a lot of kind of cheesecakey stuff. You get some nipples and nudity a lot too. So serves that that need. Yeah, it's a need. But yeah, some nice art too. A lot of the time, every page has got some good stuff on it. So I was curious about this for a while, but every time I've seen them, they've always been like $10. I hope I didn't show some nips on the previous page. You gotta be careful. Okay, but yeah, good poses and work and stuff. We'll show more later in another video because I got some more also recently. It's funny how that happens. It's just kind of like feast or famine. Looking for these for a while and found them at 2 different places. Oh yeah, this is pretty good too. This adaptation of the movie from Adventure Comics Reanimator. Okay, moving on though. Ileana Rasputin Magic by Claremont, and was it like Brett Blevins doing the art? Oh, this is John Buscema. This is some weird stuff, man. Magic is a little more popular though, so I'm kind of like, I see these go on eBay for like $10 a piece and weird stuff like that. But this is, I want to call it like problematic. If you read this, like Belasco, the sorcerer that abducted her as like a child, and she's in hell, or like a dimension of hell, a part of hell, as like his slave, or she's also manipulated to want to like please him and serve him, even though he's like mentally, psychologically abusive and stuff. And like there's vibes, dark, you know what I'm getting at, vibes of the way that he treats her and talks to her and the relationship between them. So it's very like I don't know if a child would see all these like subtexts, but it's fucking dark, man. Really dark. Like, I want this guy to die. Like, he might be the most villainous Claremont villain, even because of those things that like kind of hinted at the way that he talks and treats her and stuff. I don't know how to feel about that shit, but it's a novel kind of read anyways. It's different, and yeah, like I said too, I guess she's a little more popular, that character too, so I'm kind of like, maybe if I like it enough I can like sell it or flip it or whatever if I don't like it, or figure it out, because those go, yeah, for this 50-cent bin stuff. So what would that be? $10 a piece is 20 times your money. Is that right? I think so, right? It's late. I'm sorry. Okay, Pathways to Fantasy #1. This has got some pretty good Bruce Jones and Barry Windsor Smith off the jump. Pretty nice story here, as well as Christina Rossetti. Classic kind of weird Goblin Market. You might have seen that scene in Hellboy with the Goblin Market. It's probably inspired by this old like kind of Renaissance era. Is that right? Poem. Wait, Renaissance? No, she was the pre-Raphaelites, so this is like late 1800s, I believe, rather. Yeah, nice stuff. John Bolton, I'm always a fan, especially the painted work, and a cool poem as well. We don't like poems here. We're leaning more towards, if it's a spectrum of liking poems and burning books and being a meathead, it's tough. Maybe there's some horseshoe on that though. Okay, moving on. Speaking of art, we've got Samari from Continuity Comics. It's been remarked also that these had like nice printing quality. I always think these are more modern. These are like early 80s, right? But the reason I got this is because Mark Beecham. You know, there's something about that Beecham. You gotta love it. So this is Samurai number... wait, it's hard to concentrate a second. He's always at it. He's a crotch addict. Samurai number 2. Number 3. I wasn't even looking at the numbers for these. I was just seeing if they're Beecham. Number 8. Starslayer number 5. I got this because it's a pretty good copy and it's the second appearance of Gru, but I think these are pretty common in bargain bins. I don't know if it's necessarily worth much. Maybe like $5 or something to the right buyer. It depends. I don't know if a lot of people are looking for the second appearance of Gru, but there you have it. I was so, you know, every time I see these Star Slayers in a bargain bin now, I look for number 2, because I guess that's the first Rocketeer, but you can't really tell from the cover, so something that you might be able to find a value. Those that are into that. Tim Truman and Regs Morales doing Turok. What? I was like, too bad Tim Truman doesn't do the art, but I'll try it for 50 cents. I do like his writing a lot of the time. That was number 25, and this is number 26, again the same team. I see here Mike Barron on the writing and Neil Hansen, aka Spider, on the art for Turok number 28. Neil Hansen, also the aka Spider of Icon Devil, one of my favorite indie or sci-fi adventure comics ever, that one. Pretty wild stuff. This is looking a little more tame, honestly. So I wonder if maybe the AKA was like cutting loose more, and then this is a more kind of orthodox thing when he's using his given name, Neil Hansen. But still some nice stuff. Quite a bit of the time. We'll show more of this. I've recently found some more Neil Hansen as well. Unknown Worlds of Frank Bruner. I think this is like was it like eerie and creepy and stuff, or what mags did this guy work for? Doing kind of like underground horror anthology stuff, this guy. A little bit of like a Wrightson flair. I've read this before, the 2 issues, but it wasn't like quite, it's almost like good enough to to stay in the personal collection, but just kind of not quite. But I know I got a friend that'll like this probably. There's different taste. It's not, I'm not saying my taste is superior. There's different stuff for different people, but yeah, kind of good. That's kind of good there. I don't like that. And likewise, this Arthur Swydam Demon Dreams, I had number 1 before, but It's a little bit like whimsical and fantastic and stuff. The first story, let's may as well show it. Yeah, just briefly, like under 10 seconds or so. Like this is, it's painted and sketchy and stuff. It looks kind of good. Dedicated to Vaughn Bodie, so doing some, it's all like weird stuff. Not necessarily bad, but again, not quite my thing, but I'm sure I could find like a good loving home for this. Trying out, I'm always looking for like spy and crime heist type stuff, you know what I mean? And it seems like, especially when it has a female involved, Black Widow could be good. I don't know. They've lately, when when Adam Hughes does covers for stuff, it's kind of like, it seems like it could be actually good. And he was doing a bunch of these, so for $1 I'll check that out. Again, on the same vein of like female good crime stuff, Brubaker and Galassi with Palmiotti, Catwoman number 35 and 36. This is for a friend because he's like in the, is it Joe Staten? He's looking for these. Charlton E-Man, this is number 5. I thought I'd check this out because Brandon Sanderson, he's the guy who took over for the fantasy book series Wheel of Time, which is, I really like that. And when the lead author, the author died, like after decades of writing those books, Sanderson had to complete the book series, which is like an like a task that would be impossible for anybody, but he actually stuck the landing really well. And I've read some other books by him, and it's such a Herculean task. I can't believe that anybody could have done it, but yeah, his writing was pretty good, man. So I thought I would check this out. Dark one. This might be a double, but I'm kind of gonna get Grendel when it's in bargain bins. It seems like a good grab. I've liked some Grendel lately. Getting into it, it's hard to, I can't promise that I can read it in the correct order though, guys. It's not without resorting to digital means of some way. I kind of like to be that guinea pig or lemming or whatever, like on the edge of the cliff, to see if you can read it like in different random orders and stuff, or just jump in. Like I'll be that just throw a helmet on me and send me in, man. I'll try. Grendel Devil's Reign number 1. But I do want to try to get the series complete before I can like read them, right? This is a weird one because this is in German, is it? An issue of Grendel. Is it so much translation to the point that it doesn't even say Matt Wagner's name on the cover? Darko Makan and Edvin Bjokovic. Those sound more like Croatian names or something. Forgive me if I'm very wrong about that, but some kind of like Yugoslavic or whatever. Too weird not to get for $1. It's foreign language Grendel there. Gumby 3D number 3. These are odd too. I'll try it though. Mystery Quarterly number 1. I think I have, this is definitely a double, but maybe an upgrade. I don't know. We'll see if it's like, who wants those? But I always have, I collect doubles of stuff that I like recommend and stuff. More Neil Hansen. This is Untamed number 1. Yeah, my dumbass, like, I didn't even realize this was in my comic shop, like, want list or shopping cart for so long. But recently I got it from a comic shop for, like, full retail, like, $7. But, yeah, then I seen it in a bargain bin for $1, so I'll do it again. I would feel more like I lose if I don't buy it for the $1, but just eat the $7 one by itself. But I do like this artist. I just want more Icon Devil though. We'll see how this is. So this is from Epic, so I think it's mature readers. Yeah, his storytelling and art and Icon Devil is so good. Okay, that looks interesting. We'll see what happens. More Grendel. This Grendel Batman Devil's Mask. This was in he has like $2 and $3 bins as well. This was in a $3 bin, but it's like really minty, so I thought, why not? It's I think this is supposed to be kind of hard to find, this series, right? Okay, here's a cool one, dude. Because when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's probably Frank Miller, but not him writing it. But I kind of just want to get any Frank Miller Daredevil, even if he's not writing it. But it turns out it is Frank Miller writing it. This is for $5. This is Daredevil 170, and that this is kind of like a key, and that look, this is like very fine shape. Lord help me, I'm starting to care more and more about this. Be more like other comic YouTube or whatever. But you know, like it's kind of like you come from the gang or the side of school where it's like we don't care about condition or anything or keys, we just want to read them. But this is a bonus, man. This is like a kind of would it be called a key or minor key? But this is also in like probably VF plus or NM minus. Is that about right? The pages are a little bit tanned. This should be more like $50 and up. And that would be even if for like just a fine, I think. Yeah, really cool, because this is the first Kingpin in Daredevil comics, I believe. So kind of iconic, because he was kind of like a C-lister villain in Spider-Man before Frank Miller took him and made him like really more iconic. Isn't that how the story goes? So yeah, an awesome find. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on this, because I was like, man, if Frank Miller didn't write it, do I really want to spend $5? Yeah, okay, it's still Frank Miller art, but yeah, I don't do a lot of research or anything, but glad to have gotten a bit lucky on that. Okay, moving on. Around the corner from the entrance is a guy's booth who has a lot of collections and trade paperbacks, as well as other bins of differing value or prices. But I want to say I've been seeing his stuff in flea markets since I was maybe like in my late teens or early 20s. And maybe I even got some of the first, always like weird stuff that's fun to read. I feel like I got some Transmetropolitan off him when it first like started coming out, and stuff in that vein. And I guess he like, you can kind of get stuff that's only a few months old, or like say about like 6 months old and older. There, so pretty cool. He had these sets. I've been meaning to read this Redcoat from the Jeff Johns Ghost Machine universe, and Brian Hitch as well. I do like his art. Yeah, there's a set of 1 to 6 for $18, but these are all the sets and trade paperbacks are 25% off. So what does that make of this? I forget. I'm sorry. I can't do the math. Okay, maybe it's like $4 off or something, $14 or something. I forget. But yeah, these are minty as well. I think they're first prints. Same with this. This is pretty sweet. You know, I'll shut up. You don't need me to talk about this series every video, but you know, I like this series, Rook Exodus. These are first prints as well of the first 6, the first story arc or the first year. Cool. Good find for like $14 or something. I will be marking these up and selling these. For, not full retail, but I'll probably try to sell these to somebody, because I have them already. If I didn't have these already, I would keep them. Bad boy. Jack Kirby in the Days of the Mob. This is a weird looking one. Yeah, the Roaring 30s come alive. Let's just look a little bit at this right up on the back. During his time at DC, Kirby experimented with different art styles and publication formats for stories that went beyond the superhero genre. One of these projects was In the Days of the Mob, a raw and gripping look back at the rise of organized crime in the days of Prohibition. Although only one issue of the original magazine-sized title was ever published, this special hardcover edition also includes all of the stories drawn by Jack Kirby and inker Mike Royer for the never-released second issue, as well as an insightful introduction by Kirby historian and publisher John Morrow. Is that Morrow or Marrow? Sorry, my eyes are a little bit. $30. This is also 25% off. I got like a further discount as well, a little bit. You know, just try and wheel and deal a little bit when you're working in multitudes or whatever, right? Not like it's not dirt cheap, but this is so cool and weird. It's like under 25 but over $20 or whatever for this, right? I think the total for all of this and the Rook 1 to 6 and the Redcoat 1 to 6 was 45. It was gonna be 50, but I said, how about 40? Come on, help me. Not like that, but The actual, I think if the guy working the booth was there, he would have, but it was just like his friend working it on his behalf, and he's like, I think I have to only just do 45. I don't want to like overstep. Look at this penitentiary, a Kirby penitentiary. And a crime family here. Finish your vittles, boys. Ma's got hold of a new toy you can use during target practice. The Thompson machine gun. That's one of my favorite weapons in PUBG. It's nice to have this like sepia too. This looks good, man. I love the lack of narration captions. They're pretty few and far between. That's another life hack I haven't mentioned in a while, but it's worth reminding you if you care for it, that when reading, like especially the older books that have like tons of narration and shit, just skip the narrative boxes if you want. Sometimes it helps it read faster, more like a modern kind of book. Hell yeah, dude! Look at this massacre. What? Wow. Murder Inc. Yeah, getting a pretty good collection of weird Kirby stuff. Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry for those just listening. That was there was some stuff I didn't want to try to describe or talk about and stuff, because I don't know, the algorithm is really eating ass lately. Not in a good way either. No reach around. It's hurting a lot of our channels, man. Okay, moving on. All right, from the second to last vendor, Wally, who's putting on a show pretty soon. Gonna be setting up at that one, my first comic show, my first show that's not a pop-up, but that's neither here nor there. But I guess if it only takes 5 seconds, I'll mention it. It's Sunday, November 23rd at the Norwood Hotel, and yeah, it'll be a lot of great stuff there. And I don't mean just for me. That's one of my favorite local cons to look around at and stuff. Found a lot of favorite things there. Okay, but Wally, he's had a booth there I've been going to maybe since like 2017, 2018 even. Or he was gone, then now he's back. And he has like a $2 section, and the deal was always like if you get 20, then they're only $1 each. So I always ask him, like, can I still do that? And he's always like, yeah, absolutely. But I feel like I just still want to ask just to make sure. You never know, because sometimes if you go over 20, it still might be like, say 21 or 22 books might be like $22 or $24 or something. So blah blah, the boring technicalities. You just gotta work with people, though. You know, sometimes all you gotta do is ask, really. Ren and Stimpy show number 6. This one guest starring Spider-Man. Wow, it's not even it's after like issue 2 or 3 where Spider-Man usually guests. As I've said, a lot of licenses suck. Like a lot of comic license, like when they do, you know, whatever. There's so many franchises and stuff where blah blah. But Ren and Stimpy is good. It's good. It's funny stuff. And the cartooning is good too. Okay, more Mark Beecham. Let's showcase some of this fine art, man. This is number 1. There's something about it. It's like even when he's doing a when he's doing a freaking like a superhero comic, he has to. He can't not. That's a nice shot. Let's look at number 2. I just got as many of these as I could, because they were in a 50-cent bin like a year or 2 ago, and I didn't realize it was Mark Beecham, so I missed them when I went back looking for them. So happy now to find again. Look at the genius of this art, the passion. Is it passion, obsession even almost? When you can't stop yourself. You're just driven, you're compelled. You can't stop. Is it genius? Driven to genius. I can't stop either getting Mark Beecham. I will continue to do so. Number 3, number 5. Sadly missing number 4. A bit of a, like a Sienkiewicz looking cover there. Number 6, 7, 8, 9. Heavy on the Sienkiewicz influence there. Okay, I remember this one. This is from Dollar Stuff now. Or like, you know, if you buy enough, they're $1. Actually, this was like unsorted, but I was like, I'll pay you $1 for that. I was like, I'll put it in like 50-cent bin, and I was like, no, I'll even give you $1 for that. I was kind of like, you know, in the haggling stage still. I could have probably saved 50 cents. So I do remember reading this Alien vs. Predator Booty and liking it maybe about 10 years ago. Enough that I know I still have it in my collection. I don't really remember it as like as iconic as some of the other Aliens or Predator comics, but I know I liked it enough to not purge it. So yeah, we'll check it out again. I think it's a nice one and done as well. It's like just one issue. And sometimes that works good. Okay, Barbara A. Kessel, the writer, and Ron Randall, the artist. Don't know much about them. Only that. Dark Horse presents number 56, featuring Sin City. You know, I always get these. I recently sold a bunch that I was like, I had for doubles. But, yeah, so you can kind of find these in bargain bins, man. And it's the first Sin City, and it's like in a format that you can open with one hand, or I just like floppies because they like sit open wide. You don't need to constantly be holding them with two hands. I don't know. I used to like trade paperbacks, but I like floppies now. Anyway, this is it's also feels like a weirder experience reading it on this paper that's like more tan rather than the really white paper in the trade paperbacks. But I just love Sin City so much that I'll preserve and perpetuate it. As much as I can. Why not? Just gotta save it from the bin getting damaged more. Some more E-Man for the friend. This one, number 2. This one, I don't know what it is, but Echo Lands. The cover looks weird enough. So, opened it up, and from Image, this is J.H. Williams III, and what? And W. Hayden Blackman. Yeah, and it the art actually just looks nuts. It looks really good. You know, I always only want to keep stuff if I like the art and the writing. Not that I'm not trying to be a snob, but that's always like the way for me to just try not to let the collection like get out of control. Because if I started to keep stuff that would be only for one or the other even, then it would just really be 2 or 3 times the size probably of keeping stuff in the PC. But yeah, this looks pretty nuts. Hopefully the writing is as good as the art. I'll buy that, by golly. You remember these old gags? Yeah, it looks the art looks good. Okay, let's move on, right? You don't want me to take so damn long. We're like 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4 or something. Echo Lands number 2 and number 3. It is in that weird like sideways format too. Okay, Falling in Love number 135. Whenever I see romance for cheap, I'll get it. These can be, I mean, it is like lower grade, but I kind of just get these for the fun of reading them anyways. I'm not really in higher grade, these are going now for, you know, over $3, which is above my limit. If I'm paying over $3, is like something I really have to love. But these are a hoot. They're always like fun for entertainment, getting some laughs, getting some chuckles. Don, what's wrong? There he is, staring at me again. He makes me feel so strange. Forbidden Love. These always like make me laugh. Don, that guy is staring at you again. I know. Why does he look at me like that? It makes me feel so strange. Nancy, what's his name? What's his name? Frankie. He's a biker, Don, and he's tough. He transferred from the rough section of town. Forget it, Don. I know you've never been in love, but you're much too sweet for that guy. Oh, Nancy, I'm just interested. I feel like blushing when he looks at me. Hearing my voice read this is horrible, I'm sure, but I hear it in like the Kathy, the Kathy girls from like Kids in the Hall. Maybe something like that. I don't know. These are always kind of fun, or there's like something innocent about them. You can kind of read one like every once in a while, almost like how movies back in the day would be like, you'd go to see a western and you get 2 cartoons first before the western and maybe an intermission and then like another movie, a sci-fi at nighttime, and you'd get 2 scoops of ice cream and it would only cost a nickel. Like you can kind of read this hey, nice. You could read like a romance thing, kind of like to warm up before your night of reading or something like that. Something lighthearted and kind of fun. Yeah, these are fun to have. But people are twigging onto it now, or wigging onto it now. This ad for wigs. So it seems a little bit harder to find, or like people are asking more for them. But they're always fun if you're into that kind of thing. I'll move on. I've said many things before. I won't. I'll try not to repeat. Be repetitive, I mean. Okay, Ghostly Tales number 175, is it? Or is it 115? Charlton Horror, always do. Bronze Age Horror, just always do. From everybody. Recently, and I'd like to ask you guys too. I've been seeing, due to the spooky season, it's come up the question, some YouTubers are asking, like, what's the best Bronze Age horror anthologies? Would it be Charlton, DC, Marvel? And I love that question because it just makes you think about them. It's fun to listen to videos or podcasts about comics. It's fun to look at them. It's fun to even just think about them and ponder, like think about what do I like the best. I would put it forward that I think Charlton might have the best writing, not always the best art. That art probably goes to DC and like Warren magazines, and like what's the best covers even. But I'd say Charlton is probably the most entertaining writing. Sometimes the DC ones, like even eerie, like as they say, anthologies are a mixed bag. You might get one good one mediocre one, and one shitty one that sucks ass. So you kind of always feel like, what? I don't know by the end. But the Charlton ones, usually you don't feel like your intelligence is insulted, or like they just kind of phoned it in, or like don't give a shit. I feel like even in the DC ones, you'd often get one or two where it's like, man, did the guy just like fucking write that on a piece of toilet paper while he was taking a shit or something, like before the deadline? A lot of the time you'll get like one or two really good ones though, but then you get some of those ones where you're like, oh man, that sucked. But it seems like in Charlton you don't, and you still get, also the art is still above average, so I'm not trying to diminish the art by any means. A lot of Tom Sutton as well in these Charltons. Something for you to think about. Yeah, all the DC ones will just be like, yeah, then they stole a jewel, so a mummy comes after them. Okay, that's good enough for send it to print it. But these, it doesn't have. It's not like, it seems like even the bunk, like silly stories are still intelligent enough. I don't know how else to say it. We'll get back to that more later. It would be fun to hear what you guys think is the best. The eerie and creepy are certainly awesome too. The Marvel stuff just reprints that pre-code Atlas stuff for the most part, right? And sometimes like I don't know what it is, they're funny. They'll always have like one that's really funny and then a couple that stink, it seems. But your taste may vary. It's like, we all like different kind of stuff, and that's fine. Because like, yeah, people I love and respect, they might like stuff that I'm like, what? I don't, how can you? But they're still awesome. Okay, the Green Team first issue. This is first issue special number 2. So some Kirby for $1, and this looks like it's in good shape. This is weird. He's just coming up with weird concepts for like issue number 1s. Some millionaire philanthropist children. Some millionaires sit in the sun waiting for something to happen, but not the Green Team. We offer $1 million for each adventure, and we always get our money's worth. All right. Kirby, 70s Kirby, I'll always do it. More Charlton horror here. Let's look and contemplate more. Fiendish Females. This is Baron Werewolf's Haunted Library number 37. And yeah, just basically, it's a Sophie's choice. You can, in summation, you can't pick just one. They're all good, all the bronze. But I will say that it seems like for the personal collection, I hardly keep any of the Marvel, like reprints of the Atlas stuff, even though they're like pretty awesome. They usually have one that's pretty awesome, but usually, I don't know, they don't suit my taste that much. But the Charlton stuff, like almost all of the Charlton stuff I get ends up staying more than half, and like about half or sometimes even less of the DC stuff ends up staying for me. And of course this is all like subject to personal taste, but just as a generalization, not saying each and every issue is like that, but in the macro sense, like looking back. But it's fun to think about what's the best stuff. I'm not familiar enough with like creepy and eerie, and creepy and eerie also, they seem to get into like fantasy and sci-fi a little more too, right? Anywho, on a different subject, Law Dog from Heavy Hitters Epic. This is like Chuck Dixon and another dude. Looks maybe like it's good. Ooh, I just had to sneeze there. More Kirby. This is Our Fighting Forces number 155 with the Losers, his like war team. Kind of like a serial like combat or something. I do like these. Look at this spooky looking guy. Through a little bit. One of these was like actually at that flea market. That was like the first Kirby issue I ever got, and it was one of these OFF. Set me on the journey, man. Learning that I like this 70s Kirby, and even Kirby in general. Like, when I was a kid, it looked boring to me, but the Partisans. Are you familiar with that band? Killing Machine, the song. Signed on the line, threw away my life. They gave me a gun. They gave me a knife, taught me how to kill, taught me how to hate. Killing machine, killing machine. Some old 70s, 80s punk rock. Just while we get to this, Kirby drawing like freaking war machines here. It's probably kind of cool to see. Japan's Model 4 150mm howitzer. The Soviet tank killer, 45mm Type 32 anti-tank gun. Long Tom, 155mm gun. Maximum range, 25,715 yards. Rate of fire, 1 round per minute. Kirby Tech, drawn Nazi war machines. The 60cm Morzer Karl, a German biggie of World War II. Weight 32 tons. Australia's, it's sometimes nice to share weird stuff with you guys. German Panzerfeldhaubitz, sorry, pronunciation, 105, formerly the French Char 8. Coming up next, helmets. Oh, shit. I'm sure I have that. Definitely got to see Kirby drawing, like, different helmets. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, OFF, pretty fun. I enjoy reading this, and it's, it's November, so reading some more stuff. Solomon Kane 3D. I like that character. Yeah, so, yeah. Stray Toasters, a set of Stray Toasters by Bill Sienkiewicz. I figured, I'll try reading it, and then if I don't like it, I'll probably be able to recoup some cost. I know there's a lot of Sienkiewicz fans, and I think these go for, in, Fine or VF, they go for, $8 each or something like that. Yeah. We'll see. If, I think I'll try to, I haven't really sold on eBay, but I'll, try sometime, because I want to, mail away for stuff more, and just kind of, not really have to, spend money to do it. Maybe I'll just be able to kind of, Thor 360, Walt Simonson with a cool cover, so checking that out. I'm checking all that out. Here's more of that Marvel Bronze Age horror, right? Tomb of Darkness, number 19. Stan Lee and John Buscema. Yeah, there's often a lot of really funny or fun good art in these, and funny lines and scenes and stuff, but Sometimes they're just a little too silly for me. But they got some good teams and stuff in here. Tales to Astonish number 12. Reprints, yeah, reprints of like 1950s stuff. This might be like Kirby Tales of Astonish number 13 reprints, so, but they're just monster of the week. Like you just like pump these out, man. Nothing against them, but you start to see like patterns, like a formula once in a while. Still good though. You gotta love them. Yeah, more Kirby as well. Two Gun Kid number 116. Still just a buck each. Kirby and Ayers. A pretty low number Weird War Tales in quite good shape. This would be like a fine minus or VG plus this. It's really smooth and clean. Number 43. Yeah, online it says like near mint is like $30, so $1 for like a fine minus or something is pretty cool. This is probably an upgrade to my own copy or some, because I always got Weird War Tales from like bargain bins and stuff, but now, you know, years later, people are more savvy. They're looking for more. The price is going up. X-Files Annual number 1. Classic X-Men number 13. I think I might have been missing this one. X-Men number 203. X-Men number 206. I'm just trying to be like an X-Men guy. Okay, this one I paid like $20 for, but this was on my wish list for a long time. Because Human Torch from like, what is it, like Golden and Atomic Age, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Larry Lieber. These are fun to read. I just like I've probably mentioned before, that Human Torch and Namor Submariner from this era, their attitudes are just fun, man. Like there's something so keen about it, but they're badass as well, like for lack of a better modern term, but there's something kind of like just optimistic and like happy about it as well, and like an antidote to today's kind of like cynical darkness, but not in a pussy way. They're still fucking like badass, but they're just, you know, with a smile on their face or something. It's cool. It's something that is hard to pinpoint or find in other kind of things, but yeah, this is always with the like Stan Lee and Larry Lieber type Human Torch and Submariner. I do recommend it highly. It's at least worth checking out and worthy of your consideration, because you might find you like it as well. I always thought this like 40s and 50s stuff would be like pretty boring or something, but this is like, man, it's really awesome. Okay, moving to the last vendor. It made me a machine. Killing machine. Whoops. Okay, the last vendor, Stringbean, he helps put on C4. Again, more 50-cent bins to start, and then the $2 section, but he said if you go up to like 20 books, then it'll be $1 each. And that's kind of good, because that's about like exactly how many I wanted. First off, let's show this. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 54, most 50-cent bins. Right before Mike Mignola was doing Hellboy, kind of a Hellboy story in Batman. So yeah, look at that. The cemetery statuary and the compositions already going with it. This is like Hellboy-ish. So Hellboy-ish. And the writing and story is good too. It's, who's the writer again? Don Raspler. The coloring too, I thought it might be, why am I going to say Dave Thomas? The Perubu and Rocket from the Tombs guy. No, it's Dave Stewart, but this is actually Mark Chiarello on the colors, but nice stuff. Look at these compositions, of course, so Hellboyish. Kind of Frazetta, and I think he took a lot of inspiration from Kirby as well, right? But that kind of like pyramid type central composition. And the story has like a paranormal element, but I like it when Batman is, you know, I always like the like street level crime stuff to stay like grounded in reality. But this gives you like, it's a little bit ambiguous, but not in a hackneyed way, to say like, is he like dreaming of this vampire thing because of accidentally killing a suspect or perp that he was after, and this vampire kind of being like, you're like me, we kill, we can't stop ourselves, we need blood. And then, you know, I'm contemplating and going like I said, is that's the basic skeleton of the story, but it is good. It is good to read, fun to read, and not as hackneyed as my inability to explain it better. But yeah, good stuff, man. Mignola Batman. Grendel Devil's Odyssey #1. This one second copy, but kind of minty, so I'll be able to like make my bins cooler. You know, I'm getting ready for the show. I'm so nervous. Some people have told me though that my bins are really good, and they're like that I have good collection and good prices and stuff, and that's kind of like the best I can hope for. I'll try to keep it going. I wonder if I should try to like blow everything out though in the last like couple hours, make everything really low price, but I think some things are maybe too valuable and irreplaceable to do that for. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, not to bore you guys. Okay, Halo Uprising from the 50-cent bins, #4. I'll just try that. It's a cool looking franchise, and advice from the man Pop. He's always saying like video game stuff, it won't hurt you to hold it. Miracle Man #6. I've had Miracle Man 1 to 10 before from, this is Eclipse printing, right? I gotta say the Marvel prints are a little bit nicer. These are like kind of dark and hard to read, and the print is kind of like small and blurry. Maybe that's what made it so hard for me, but this, I tried reading like the first 2 issues and I didn't get into it, but let me mention that recently I was listening to Cartoonist Kayfabe, like the whole series of them talking about these issues. Because I listen to stuff like while I'm working and stuff, right? And it's so fun. It's so fun to listen to them talk about this series. Not to be a broken record, I'm sure I've mentioned it so many times, but it's a great channel, man. Miss that stuff. But there is a lot that like that I wasn't that into the series when it came out, so I'm thankful for their catalog that I can like go back, and it's almost like hearing new stuff because it's new to me. Okay. OMAC #7. This is in really good shape. Probably an upgrade to the copy I have. More 70s Kirby weirdness, right? Let's get it. Okay, more Sable. This is because I was missing some. This will allow me to like read a big chunk again. Continue on. John Sable, Mike Grell, #15. And yeah, the booth, the shopkeeper guy is like, are those good to read? Like, I've seen those. I've been wondering about them, and I was like, well, it's kind of like fun crime stuff to read. I wish I had some. I keep saying the same shit. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, the movie like Ronin or something, or like or Heat, where there's like crimes and heists and like good intrigue and drama and stuff along with it. That's about the best I can. I need to learn like to expand my vocabulary though. I don't know how to explain more of like when something's a good crime, spy, action kind of genre, like heists and stuff. I like it. We'll see how it goes though, because how many people collected this and just purged it? Is that what's gonna happen to me? I don't think so. I still do like it, as far as I've read up to like #10 or so now. #15, #16, #23, #26. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures #3. These might be like these can be worth something to people, but it's just kind of cool to maybe try to rescue them. I've tried to read these again, and they don't really like, being an fucking old ass adult now. I was like, how will they read like for an adult? I'm like, not as good as when I was 9 years old, or like 7 or whatever years old. They're good for that. they're kind of good for a kid, but as like you know, they don't compare to the Mirage stuff at all. But I'll just probably, I paid 50 cents for these, and it's probably gonna go in the 50-cent bin as well. But I was like, sometimes it's nice to have some dumb stuff that you can just kind of turn your brain off and just be like a child again. And they're kind of nice. They have like their adult, like not adult, like adults only jokes, but jokes that are put in there Easter eggy, kind of like for adults as well sometimes. Adventures #15. Here's #16. More Thor in the 50-cent bin. Walt Simonson 340. Just putting a bunch of those together. Okay, getting to the $2 or 20 for $20 bin. Batman and Robin Adventures number 5. These read kind of like, you know, the Batman Adventures cartoon episodes. Number 11. It's weird, like, I don't even know if you're gonna believe me, but this is the stuff that I was like going there for. I was like, I want to read Cape shit. You might know, you know, it's like kind of like an my comic shop owner is like, you're like an edgy world, and you like the edgy stuff. You're like a hipster. I'm like, what? Fuck you, man. But I guess I don't get too much superhero stuff, but I was kind of craving some superhero stuff, and I was like, get me some of that Lapham Detective Comics, or the Paul Dini Detective Comics. I want to check that out, because I found one Lapham Detective Comics before, and it made me want to read more. So, but unfortunately I don't have like a run to like read a story arc in these, but it'll come together. Detective Comics 801, Detective Comics 802, 812, 813. These are with the cool Simone Bianchi covers. Thanks for the commenter before who let me know about that. I recognize the art and the signature. But written by Paul Dini. I'm not familiar with the artist, Don Kramer, Wayne Fauché. Anyway, Detective Comics 822, 824. These are sweet covers, man. 838, 847. Caliber Presents number 16. Bit of an oddity there. When I see Dead Man, I buy Dead Man. This is Challengers of the Unknown number 84, also featuring Swamp Thing there. Gen 13, Volume 1, Number 1, first print. Probably, like, still common in bargain bins, but not a bad find for $1, and it's, like, in pretty minty shape as well. As well as these G.I. Joe from the latest series, number 2. And number 2, the David Finch variant. A weird underground or alternative or whatever to see there. There's hardly any indie stuff there, and I was like, can you do you have indie stuff? And he's like, yeah, I have like tons of boxes of them, but they're in like the storage, not here. Or he's like, they're in the office, but I'll try to like integrate them out into the collection like slowly. And he's like, yeah, I've got like Image and Boom and stuff. And I was like, no, indier than that. We need to go indier than that. But he also mentioned so that those guys, if you're local, they organize the C4 convention in March, which is also like a pretty great comic convention, and I love that he even said like they don't charge that much for the tables, so there's a lot of dollar bins there. Like say there was like 50 or more from one vendor, 50 long boxes at the last one, and he said they're gonna do something like that again, where they're gonna break out a lot of stuff. So keep your calendar marked for that. No plug. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just letting you guys know, because I know if you're like me, you're excited to hear something like that. Love fun. Like, because the other thing, of course, as I mentioned, like stuff off the beaten path finds its ways to the bargain bins, right? Like not just the popular stuff, because you know, if popular meant good, then the top 40 pop music would be the best music ever. So I feel that way. Like as much as I love this hobby comics, I'm like, I don't give a shit about like what's trending or popular or whatever. Maybe I'll find out later, but I have no FOMO when it comes to like, oh, everybody's checking that out, I gotta check that out. No, it'll be fine. I'll be fine. But anyway, this looks, I'm not trying to be divisive, but okay, this looks kind of good. One of the other ways, as I say often, of like finding stuff out, or like finding, should I check that out, is just look at a random panel, read it. Watch how you handle my cantaloupes, young man. Yes, ma'am. The spark is back. Interesting enough, it's not just run-of-the-mill, I gotta get to the Switch or else the Doomsday device. Hello there, I'm Catfish, and I'm gonna give you the smart tips on how to get along in the world. Watch lots of the TV commercials. They gonna tell you what is really good stuff to get. Just want you to make sure and read it in the fine print on whatever you buy, because sometimes they go and try to rip you off. That's so, but it looks weird enough. For $1, you don't. You know how it goes. I saw better panels when I flipped through it last time. It's just because you guys are watching, you're messing it all up. Okay, to get back to like cape shit mainstream stuff. Star Wars Darth Vader Annual #1. I had got a copy of this before, and I was it's really good. It's a really great one and done, creative, like not predictable, not derivative, not relying on nostalgia berries. Yeah, look at that. This is what you want in like a sci fantasy pullback. This is Lionel Yu on the pencils, Kieran Gillen on the writing. Yeah, this was like, it makes me so okay. I always feel like a weird tinge of like being a sucker or a sellout or something when I talk about Star Wars. Is like you feel a little bit like you're gullible or something to think like, yeah, there's some Star Wars I liked, because the well has been like poisoned before so many times, right, that you don't want to, fool me once, shame on you. But this is awesome. Okay, so this R2 unit and this I think his name's like 000. He's like Darth Vader's other kind of droids, but they're as if like R2 or a C3PO unit were like evil and assassins. They're really, really interesting and good characters, man. And better than I can explain it. And Darth Vader does cool shit. He's going to this planet and just tell him like, hey, basically don't fuck around. You belong to the Empire runs you, and I'm gonna like show you I'm just one man, but and their whole thing is like, Darth Vader's coming. We have to like try to find a way to not only survive, but we have to try and like assassinate him. And you're kind of rooting for both of them. And all within the confines of this one annual. Yeah, some nice big, what would you call it? Like big set pieces. Like this is the kind of thing, what I wanted to say is kind of like Star Wars moments when they're at their best. They make me feel like I was a kid, like seeing Empire Strikes Back again. And this kind of like has in that realm of like, this is good. This is like, and it's kind of like nothing else either, this one. So enough gushing, but this is some good Star Wars comics. This is Darth Vader Annual #1. So I thought I would check out #2 as well. I was missing some. This isn't like, I'm not huge on these, but enough that I was like, I kind of wanted to check out the run. This is the last stuff. Okay. Wolverine #5 and #9 and #12 of this run. I'm kind of just going to read them all together and see if I want to keep them. So, not ending on like a huge high note here. Let's bring this back out again. Look through this a little bit while we like just talk a little short outro or whatever. So, thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you're not getting videos in your feed, go ahead and put that bell on. Ring my damn bell, man. Just fucking rock that shit. I don't know, YouTube is getting messed up. It's discouraging a lot of people. But if you want to make sure they don't miss stuff by the channels that you like but don't post frequently, because it's like YouTube will show you stuff of like the stuff you watched on like the last day, and that's about it. Oh yeah, but what was I saying? Yeah, do that, and you got to do that for everybody right now. It's weird. I guess they're gonna, until they recode that shit, it's gonna be like that forever. Dark days for a lot of people. So gotta survive, man. It's like the Empire now, the rebellion, man. Just you gotta like use life, use the Force. Not just be like automated. You have to put in a little bit of effort, I guess, or something. I don't know. Who cares anymore? Al goes a hoe. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope you find good stuff out there. I'll try to like keep the videos kind of weekly. A lot of stuff coming up. Oh yeah, some people ask me like, how do I even read these? How do I like keep the hauls are like pretty big. This was like $125 I spent today. But how are you not so cluttered? Another thing with like evaluating sometimes on the to read pile, my to read pile now is like pretty quality. It's getting to the point where it's like mostly pretty good stuff. So I'm even getting like more value trading and selling it away and stuff too, which is kind of cool. I kind of read like, okay, this looks like it might not be something I want to keep. I often like, you kind of like have that on one pile and the stuff that's like, I'm excited to read these on another. But a lot of people are like, okay, I'm sticking with it. I didn't like the first two issues of the series that's coming out right now, but maybe like we'll see after issue 6 or like the second story arc if it like takes off and stuff. And it's like, nah, I'm reading. I'll read like 5 pages or maybe up to the staple. And if I'm bored, that I don't read it anymore. It's like it's gone. The whole series is gone out of my out of my collection. So maybe that sounds a little snooty or highfalutin for you, but it feels good, man. Just terminate with extreme prejudice. Have your bar set pretty high. It works pretty good. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. All the best.